Imagine being at Soldier Field. The Chicago Bears are playing a playoff game. They are down 6 points with 10 seconds left. However, they have a chance to score. You see the quarterback snap the ball, he drops back, scans the field, and throws the ball in the end zone. There is a wide receiver there to catch the ball and score a touchdown. And for 1 second, it is very quiet. Then all of a sudden, you see the crowd get up off their feet, and they're electric, cheering because the Chicago Bears won that playoff game. Today, I would like to inform you about one of the greatest franchises in the NFL, the Chicago Bears. I started watching Chicago Bear football when I was 9 years old. I was in the 4th grade, and I played football myself my freshman and sophomore year in high school. It made me appreciate the game of football even more. The Chicago Bears are significant because it shows how important it is to the Chicago culture and the past achievements that they earned. In order to explore the history of the Chicago Bears, we must first look at when they became an organization, next, the year that they won the Super Bowl, and finally, the significant players that played for the Chicago Bears. To gain an understanding of the Chicago Bears, we must look at the year they became a team, the early years of the Chicago Bears, and how they gained their popularity. The Chicago Bears became a team the year 1920, founded by George Halas, who was at the time the coach and a player for the team. Originally, their name was the Decatur Staleys. However, they moved after 1 year to Chicago. They lost the name Staleys because the Chicago Cubs influenced the name change to the Chicago Bears. During the 1930s, the Chicago Bears went to the championship three times. However, they fell short each three times they went to the championship. In the 1940s, though, however, they made the championship they won the championship 4 out of the 5 times due to a player named Sid Luckman, who perfected the T formation and dominated the league. With a better understanding of the early years of the Chicago Bears, unfortunately, they had a rough middle years and had to go into rebuilding mode. But after that, they were able to form a Super Bowl winning team. Let us investigate their Super Bowl year by looking at the regular season, the playoffs, and the Super Bowl game itself. During the regular season, the Chicago Bears won 15-1. Unfortunately, their one loss was to the Miami Dolphins, but that didn't take away the fact that they had one of the best defenses of all time, only allowing 12.4 points per game, allowing 198 points allowed during the whole entire season, which is insane. During the playoffs, they beat the Giants 21-0 in the divisional round. Then in the conference championship, they beat the Los Angeles Rams 24-0, and they were the first team to record back-to-back shutouts in the playoffs. In the Super Bowl, they played the New England Patriots, and the Patriots took a 3-0 lead early, but after that, the Chicago Bears scored 44 unanswered points, and they ultimately ended up winning the game 46-10. With a better understanding of the Chicago Bears Super Bowl win, let's tackle right into the significant players that played for the Chicago Bears. In the 1900s, the Chicago Bears had Sid Luckman, who threw 137 touchdowns, and as I said earlier, they won 4 titles in the 1940s. Next is Gale Sayers, who is a running back. He rushed for a little under 5,000 yards, and he scored 39 touchdowns, which doesn't seem like a lot. However, it was due to the fact that he had a knee injury, which disrupted his career. Next, we have arguably one of the greatest running backs of all time, Walter Payton, who rushed for over 16,726 yards and scored 110 rushing touchdowns. Next is Mike Singletary, who recorded 1,488 tackles, and he made the Hall of Fame. He was known as the heart of the defense for the Super Bowl winning team. In the 2000s, the Chicago Bears had Brian Urlacher, who recorded over 1,361 tackles and led the Bears to a 2006 Super Bowl run that they unfortunately lost. Next is Devin Hester, arguably the greatest return specialist of all time. Recorded over 20 touchdowns return. He recorded 20 return touchdowns, which is an NFL record. Next is Jay Cutler, who's the all-time passing touchdown leader for the Chicago Bears. Over the past years of the Chicago Bears, 27 players made the Hall of Fame that mainly played for the Chicago Bears. In retrospect, we looked at the Chicago Bears history, when they became an organization. Then we looked at that one and only Super Bowl year win, and finally the significant players that made the Chicago Bears who they were and are today. The Chicago Bears are still playing till this day along with other 32 teams, and unfortunately they lost today, but they still play, and we cannot overlook the fact that they have gained a lot of achievements from the past.